Hello everyone, Derry here. Welcome back to VertiSpin. Welcome back to the garden. Today's topic, today's video, planting tomatoes. See, for about the last 30-45 minutes, I've been out here trying to figure out where I'm going to place my tomatoes. Now granted, I would love to place those tomatoes around this sage plant. It's a big plant. It's going to get at least another 4 inches taller over the period of the summer. And it's my belief that by having the sage plant and the tomato plants closer together, I can stave off or maybe avoid the dreaded hornworm. Now, my quandary in all of this is that we are doing a version of spin farming and square foot gardening. And so my whole idea here is to spin farm. It's small plot intensive. So my idea is to take this sage plant and drop a tomato plant on each corner of it. Grow the tomato plant up, keep it pruned to a single stalk. Keep it pruned to a single stalk, pruned at least 12 inches high, and continue to plant underneath it, whether they're greens or anything that grows shallow roots, any vegetable at all. And in that way, we'll keep this as a small plot, and we're going to be growing intensive. So let's get on with it. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to get each one of our squares amended. And this is a 12 by 12 square. At least almost. So first thing I'm going to do, my soil, like I said, everything in here I've put in here myself. The soil is very fast draining because of the slope of the garden, to make sure that the beds and the vegetables aren't sitting in water. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to amend this, and I'm going to amend it with some blood meal, some bone meal. The blood meal for the nitrogen and the vegetative growth, and the bone meal to make sure that we have calcium and to avoid the blossom end rot, as well as the micro and macros. And we also have the organic garden tone fertilizer, and it's not very high. I use it in just about everything that I have, everything that I plant, and it's just a 344, but it is a good slow release fertilizer. And being that we're doing the spin farming, the small plot intensive, I come back behind it every 2 weeks and I fertilize. Let's get on in here and get this bed amended. I don't necessarily have measuring cups. Pretty much just use the palm of my hand here. I'm just going to sprinkle it in here. This here's my bone meal, and this is the granular. It is that with powder. My blood meal. I'll do this to each one of the squares. I'll get it worked in just a little, because we have this big sage plant here. I don't want to work it in too far and go too deep. I need to get my chicken fingers. And we are back with our trusty chicken fingers. We'll get this worked in. I'm going to come back on top of it with fresh topsoil, fresh compost. It's a little bit wet from the storm. It's really wet. Somebody had gloves right behind you. There you go. nice and clean gloves, fix and get nice and dirty. I know that isn't much more together, but take that one. These two have onions in them, so the next one will be the one on the back side. We're gonna go ahead and drop this one in. Let's just work that deeper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap off these bottom leaves. Maybe I'll leave that node, and I'm going to plant it. I'm going to plant it all the way up to this node. Decent root structure. Now these plants come from our local, what would you say, swap meet, jockey lot, flea market, whatever. They're cheap. Compared to $5 a plant, they're very cheap. There we go. Leave my well there so that when I come back and water it in. And we'll move on. I'm going to spare you guys the rest of this while I get the rest of these holes amended and the other tomatoes in. Maybe I'll shoot the video of the last one going in. Alright everyone, we're back on our fourth and final hole. And on this side, I've put in Better Boys, and only putting in 2 over here. And this last one, I'm gonna put it here. First thing I'm gonna do is just drop some minutes in here. There's a little leaf. Feeding them heavily because I know this sage plant, she hasn't been fertilized since last year. So when its roots reaches this fertilizer, it's probably going to spring to life and become a hog. So I want to make sure that there's more than enough in here to get it what it needs also. Got that one dug in. Drop the remainder of my compost here. Hopefully it's enough. It is. Like I said, it's very wet. And I'm just gonna go down here, get this hole dug. I can see some of the roots from the sage plant. I'm planting these pretty deep. There we go. Root structure intact, rather nice. Tease the roots out just a little. Get them on their way. Pull off these bottom stems. Remove that one also. Plant her deep. Back behind and fill in the rest of my beds. And so that's just it. That's this video. That's just me planting the tomatoes out. The plan is to keep them into a single stalk, prune 12 inches high, where I'm still able to come back and plant fast cropping 30-day crops, radishes, and things like that underneath. Like I said, the plot is small and the idea is to get as much into it as possible. In either case, it's been Derry. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for lending me your time and your ear and watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.